The Rock to bring his ass to this ring. Give me a hell yeah.
A hell yeah, or at least a hey, what the hell. Yeah, we'll do it. I'm WB Ward.
And I'm Chip Douglas.
Oh, back once again for another edition of SCI Wrestling. Tell me something. Do you consider yourself a very emotional person?
No, not really.
Have you ever gone to a movie and cried at the movie?
No.
Have you ever seen the movie Old Yeller?
Yes.
Now, you have to have cried at the end of Old Yeller.
No, I didn't.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's human nature. You have to put the dog down.
What are you, made of stone?
No, not made of stone, but come on.
Man,
the dog is sick. I mean, no. It's whether you or the dog. You killed the dog.
Man, well, I am emotional. I am an emotional guy, and I can cry at the movies, and I am man enough to admit that I indeed cried at the end of Old Yeller. And as a matter of fact, believe it or not, this pay-per-view that we had actually brought a tear to my eye.
Really?
Yes, it did. It did.
There's no dogs?
No dogs. Well, no, I can't really say anything about the Divas. They're all pretty hot. But no, this recent Extreme Rules pay-per-view that we had, Extreme Rules, brought a tear to my eye.
We watched it for free.
Well, no, I did have to pay $10 for the whole month.
That's true.
And you see, that's where my problem lie in. The fact that I paid $10 for a whole month to see that piece of crap made me cry like a baby girl.
Really?
I was not happy with that.
You weren't happy with that pay-per-view?
No, I was not. I was so disappointed. It just wasn't pay-per-view material.
But you also cry at the end of a porno too, so.
What?
You cry at the end of a porno?
Well, yeah.
You
know, I went to Quick Trip a couple of days ago and got some gas, and the guy pumping gas in the next lane was apparently a former porno star.
How do you know?
Well, because when he was through pumping his gas in, he pulled the hose out and splashed gas all over his trunk.
Oh, good Lord.
So, yeah, I've had some wine today.
I was wondering where you're going from.
Yeah, I know, right? Now the people who are laughing are the ones who have actually enjoyed the genre. So if you're with somebody and they're laughing and you're not, well, they're more of a pervert. So there you go. All right. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and get into business, shall we? 10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What time is it, kids?
Well, I tell you, we got in the toilet like real quick, real fast this time around. So I'm going to hope the tweet of the week pulls us right back up to where we should be.
It will. It will. There's nothing wrong with this tweet.
Okay.
It is brought to you by, once again, WCraveHumor.com.
Uh-huh.
They put Rollins' Twitter handle, but Seth Rollins, so I'll say that. Did Seth Rollins kick out of the pedigree? Well, he's fired.
I can only dream.
Oh, really?
I can only dream. I can only dream. Well, you know, that whole thing, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. That match there was part of my biggest complaint of the night. I had several complaints for this pay-per-view. That one had a glaring hole in the plot line of their storyline that they had. And we'll get into that here in just a moment. First off, there was something I was getting ready to say, and now I can't remember what it was. Let's see. Payback is the next pay-per-view, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope they will redeem themselves from this one. Now I remember what I was going to do. I did write down our predictions and who won and who lost, but I didn't keep track. Let's see. There's a draw there. Okay, there's one that you won. There's one that I won, so we're tied. There's a draw. We're tied. I abstained, so we didn't even predict the Bad News Barrett. We're still tied.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I should win.
No, the match never happened. How can you win a prediction for a match that never happened?
Because of the fact that what did I say?
Hell, I don't know. I don't listen to you.
The match won't happen.
Yeah.
And they should put someone like Adrian Neville.
Mm-hmm.
If you need proof, listen to last week's episode. They should put Adrian Neville in there and let him go over.
I don't doubt that you said that. The only problem is the match we were predicting didn't happen, so I'm not counting it. There now, in all
I
fairness,
predicted that
past,
right.
in the past, I have predicted some things that I would say happened, and you threw them out because of a technicality. So this is turnabout as fair play.
Ugh.
We're tied. Let's see. We abstain on that. Okay, now here's one you won, the Chicago Street Fight. So now you're ahead 2-1. Now we're tied again because in the tag team, I won that one. We came out tied 2 apiece.
All right.
And that
So
was an
I
even
won.
Steven call. Even Steven call. And see, that's one reason why it's only fair to not even count that one because see, I abstained. I didn't even vote.
Right.
So that wasn't like, that would have been a fair prediction or anything like that.
So before we go into pay-per-view, the talk about the actual pay-per-view and the Raw afterwards, because there's not really that much to talk about there. I did want to briefly touch on the part. I don't know if you heard, but Vern Gagne,
That name really rings a bell.
the creator of AWA.
Oh,
up in
yes.
Minnesota,
Oh, yes. Okay.
who has produced some incredible talent that is irreplaceable in this industry. WB Hall of Famer, was really one of the last territories to be sold. He didn't end up selling to WWE, but he was one of the very last.
He was a major player.
He was a major player, and he was probably, I think, besides Crockett, he was the major player when it comes to territories.
I think if you had to list them in popularity, it would be Crockett, Garnier, and then probably the guy here locally, Watts.
Yeah, Watts.
I think it'd probably do that, or
Yeah.
maybe Florida would come in third.
Yeah, you can put Florida. You can put Florida, and also maybe Dallas or Von Erichs in its same category.
That's hard to ignore that.
It's hard to explain that, but at the same time, Vern Gagne was very instrumental in this business. When WrestleMania came out, Vern Gagne had the idea of, hey, what if I take my guys? We do pay-per-view with Crockett, WCCW in Dallas, Memphis, Tennessee, and we just put everything together to where we make one major pay-per-view. He had that idea, and he did it. They did it twice. So you were able to see the Freebirds battle the Road Warriors, which would before that never ever happened. So he was very, very influential in this business, but unfortunately he actually passed away.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
At age of 89. Just yesterday. Actually.
So he went down for the count.
He went down for the final count.
Man, and I don't mean that. I don't say that lightly. I say that with all great respect to the man.
I mean, this guy, he produced. Not only just I mentioned Road Warriors. He produced Road Warriors, Mr. Perfect, and not only Mr. Perfect, his dad, Axel something, Curtis Axel.
Do you know offhand? Is he in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I was going to say if he isn't, he should be.
He is. Rick Rude, Ric Flair. Ric Flair came.
Wait a minute, Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair came from Vern Gagne.
I thought he came from Crockett.
No. Vern Gagne trained him.
Wow, that's quite a feather.
So Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. That's where he got his big time start. So this man, he was legit. This
guy left some major footprints.
Major footprints. And so for any listeners out there, I would definitely suggest watching the life and I think it's the life and death of the AWA. If you watch that DVD, or I don't know if it's a WWE Network. I think it is. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is. Go to WWE Network. Watch the life and death of AWA. Hear the Vern Gagne story and what he actually did in this industry. It'll blow you away.
I'm going to have to do that this week.
Incredible.
I'm going to have to search that out.
You should.
That is just incredible. No, I'm sorry to hear that. I did not know.
Well, I am the historian between two of us.
Yes, you are. Yeah, I mean, you are so steeped in wrestling history, and I am not. And really, I should be. I certainly lived through a lot of it.
You did.
But basically, my knowledge of wrestling history is rooted into what happened within the Bill Watts reign.
Right.
I know a little bit about Crockett, but that was thanks to cable TV, which came along much later in my life. But for the most part, my promotion was the Bill Watts promotion.
Right.
Which is probably one of the few promotions that was diluted because of a divorce.
Oh, really?
Bill Watts and his wife got into a divorce, and rather than split it with her, he just closed shop.
Wow.
Said, that's it, man. That's it. That's it.
I knew she owned a library.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she held out for a very long time.
Yeah.
With WWE. I think them and Memphis are the really only two that WWE does not own footage of.
Does Watts, do you know if he still lives here in Oklahoma?
Florida.
Oh, gosh, I don't. Oh, he lives in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said sorta.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad he's now living in Florida because I didn't want to say something like that and have him be one of my neighbors.
Yeah. No. He's in Florida. He's a pastor, actually.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a pastor.
I didn't know that.
Look up his website.
I'll be.
Yeah.
I'll be. Seems to be a lot. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there are a lot of prominent Christian professional wrestlers? Because, you know, if you're talking about Watts becoming a pastor, you also have to talk about people like the $1 Million Man,
Teddy DiBiase. Yeah.
Shawn Michaels,
Sting.
Sting, and the guy with the snake, Roberts. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Roberts kind of fell off the bandwagon.
Well, he did, but
yeah,
I mean, so
did.
does most pastors. So
right.
But why do you think that is? I mean, this is not exactly a profession that you would associate with Christianity.
We're going.
Boy, we're going the gamut, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to rabbit
we went
trails
from
here.
porno at the beginning to theology now.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you live that life for so long, and you search for happiness in all the wrong places. You know, to a lot of people, and they fall into that category. You know, Christianity was the answer, which is, you know, good for them. You know, I'm right there with them. So
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I find that. Don't take me wrong. I'm not criticizing it. I was
I
just
know
curious.
you're not.
I'm just curious about that because it does kind of seem to be an odd way to go. You know, I mean, you spend your life on television saying things like, I'm going to break your neck. I'm going to kill you. Praise the Lord. You know,
But you're an actor at the same time.
Well, I know. I know that. And I don't know. Just
hate to break it to you, but this is fake.
What?
What?
oh, man. I suppose the next thing you're going to tell me is Santa Claus isn't real.
I'll save that for next week.
Did you have any kind of big surprises on the pay-per-view yourself?
No. I think everything really happened according to plan.
And you know, I think the fact that you and I tied on our predictions, which that in itself is not a usual
rare.
event.
It's rare.
The fact that we tied on our predictions tells me that this was a highly predictable pay-per-view, which was probably one of my big disappointments in it. This had, like, for instance, the match between Cena and Rusev with the Russian chain match. That had all the earmarks of potentially being a great, great match. And it was a snoozer. The only thing I liked about that match was the technology they employed with it. I think that was the first time I ever saw a four corners post where visually you could tell which wrestler had hit which ring post.
Right.
Because, you know, they had the green and the red light on it. Now, I thought that was a nice touch. But that was purely technological and had nothing to do with the wrestlers themselves. But I thought that could have been a much, much better match. I still say, and since they are doing this on the internet now, they have more of an ability to do it now than ever. They need to go back to the gore roots of professional wrestling. I think they need to go back to that. They certainly have the ability to. I think possibly only one of two, or possibly both of the things are preventing them from doing that. One would be their investors, which that doesn't make any sense because, quite frankly, I think it would make it more profitable. But insurance will probably come into that somewhere.
I mean, it's hard to say. Yes, I think they probably should a little bit more. It's more of a what's the word I'm looking for? More of a surprise when that does happen. Like WrestleMania, when Lesnar busted open, that was a big deal. If you haven't happened all the time, it loses its effect.
But, you know, you're right, it was a big deal. But back in the day, as it were, that would have been nothing. I mean, back in the day, the announcers would very often use the phrase, he is wearing a crimson mask.
Right.
And that, I mean, he had like a skin knee. I mean,
of course, that
was the equivalent of a skin knee.
pay-per-view is called Extreme Rules.
Yes, just the very name of the pay-per-view itself, and the fact they had this chain match. Then they had a cage match on top of that.
Yeah.
You know, The only thing that happened during that thing that could be considered extreme was Kiss My Arse.
Yeah.
That was the only extreme moment of the night. I saw much more of either of those wrestlers than I would ever care to see.
That's such a stupid match.
It was.
I mean, I like what Sheamus is doing.
Oh yeah, he's playing his character great.
He's playing it really great.
I'll give him credit there.
His new entrance is phenomenal,
isn't it though?
Oh my gosh, it's a whole lot better. If they did that entrance as a face, he'd be more over than everyone else. It's just that the theme music didn't work with the character that they developed. Now, man, it is good.
One of my big disappointments of the evening was the fact that we did not see Fandango. I thought for sure when they brought him back and had him dancing to his original music, we were starting to see a brand new push of him go on. Of course, the day is still young, so we could still see that. But I'm surprised they didn't bring him in at some point during this match, during this pay-per-view. I'm really kind of surprised about that. Now, my big highlight of the evening for myself was the performance between New Day and Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, even though I'm really not a fan of either tag team.
I thought it was good. It was a good match. Very good match. Cesaro and Kidd, they're really good together. Mm-hmm. From a wrestling standpoint, New Day is the same point. I think they do have three pretty good performers there, especially Kofi. I love Kofi. What I love about New Day right now is the fact that they're very much playing the antagonistic hero. Mm-hmm. They
seem to be heels who don't realize they are heels.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're good guys, but they're heels. So right now, to me, and I saw something on Bleacher Report earlier today, to where New Day is actually the best heel they have right now.
I think so.
Because you love to boo them.
I think I could agree with that. Now, I think as a result of this, we're getting ready to see a game of hot potato take place. Because for the first time in a long time, we can actually say there's a fairly decent little roster of tag teams, and they haven't had that in quite a while.
Right.
Right now, they can involve the Ascension, which is starting to show some promise, the Primetime Players, which really is making a good comeback, and also the Lucha Dragons. I believe they're going to start... little by little, I think you're going to see the tag team belts make their way around to every single team until Jay's shoulder heals and the Usos are able to return to probably regain the tag team title. More than likely, I'm going to say by Payback.
Oh, it's going to be longer than that.
Will he be out longer than that, you think?
Yeah.
I don't know, because Payback is when. I didn't, in very rare form, I did not write that date down. Do you know when that is going to be? By now, I usually have that.
No, I don't know when Payback is. I'm sure it's like 3 or 4 weeks away.
At least. And they've already been, now the Usos have already been out for 3 or 4 weeks.
I thought he was going to be out for like 4 or 6 months.
That long?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be that long.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there certainly is enough time then for the tag team titles to make their way around.
That's true.
Certainly a long time, because we certainly have them. Tyson and Cesaro could be the next winners of it to get it back on a rematch, because it's going to be them doing the rematch.
Right.
Then Los Matadores will probably take it. At some point, the Ascension is going to have a brief...
Los Matadores? Really?
I think so.
Oh my God!
I think so. Absolutely. I think they're going to be wearing gold for a little while. The Ascension, I think, will also wear it, but for a very brief period. I think they're still trying to try them out to see how well they're going to go with the audience. Primetime Players, I think, are going to be the overall winners of that until the Usos get back.
Right.
I could see the Primetime Players really coming up on top, and maybe the Lucha Dragons might give them a little bit of a competition.
Here's a sleeper for you. In
Okay.
NXT, there's a tag team called the Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains.
Why do they call them that?
They play this character, because I know you don't watch NXT.
No.
They play this 1920s sideshow circus act as far as wrestlers. Like, they look the act of like a sideshow circus. Very, very odd. Very good at the same time.
How would you compare them with the Oddities?
Completely different.
Okay.
Completely different. They're different because of the fact that they're in shape. So you have, so you have the guy that is, like who could lift anything. So, but he's not that big muscly, but he's like, just stout. But he can lift, a car over his head or something like that. And then you have another guy who's more of his sideshow freak, but he has like, the twisted mustache and stuff like that. So they have the little guy coming out and, in front of the curtain, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the Vaudevillains. And they have a little sideshow music going on. Great entrance, good vibe, good work in the ring. Really like them a lot.
So they do keep the idea of vaudeville.
Yes.
I wonder if that's lost on today's audience, or if they know what they're talking about. What say you?
In NXT, it works.
Well, I know it may work, but I wonder if the average wrestling fan understands what vaudeville was.
All right. I'm your average wrestling fan. I have no idea what you're talking about. Vaudeville.
Vaudeville?
What the heck is that?
See, there's my example right there.
I knew it was going to prove your point.
Yeah,
I have no
exactly.
idea what that is.
Vaudeville was what we had as entertainment before the motion pictures came into existence. They had live shows. It was just referred to as vaudeville, and they were variety acts. You might see a juggler. You might see a sideshow type acts, which sounds like that's what they're trying to mimic here. You might see singers, stand-up comics, magicians, acrobats. You might see anything, and it was just simply referred to as vaudeville.
Really?
As a matter of fact, when the live theaters were in progress, vaudeville acts went on strike because the theater owners were starting to pay them not so well. During the strike, the theater owners were trying to think of a way that they could make money while the strike was on. So somebody got the idea of putting up a screen and start showing this new thing called motion pictures. Well, the strike eventually came to an end, but the motion pictures stayed. And that was the death of vaudeville.
Really?
So this, what you were talking about, just based on the name of the tag team, the second you said that, I thought, that's a clue.
You're right. This tag team is based off of that.
Okay. Well, congratulations. No extra charge for the entertainment history lesson. So I was wondering if that was lost on some of the modern day professional wrestling fan.
I think I probably learned that on is it WB's Almanac?
Yeah, that would be WB Ward's Daily Almanac.
Yeah,
Ward's Daily Almanac, heard on 35 radio stations nationwide and around the world via the Armed Forces Radio Network, and can also be found at WBWard.com.
Plug.
Thank you for that open door.
Moving on. I'll give you your 10 seconds.
And no, it's spelled VAUDEVILLA.
That's exactly how it's spelled too.
Okay. All right.
That's cool.
Well, that's kind of nice. That's one thing I've always loved about professional wrestling is they bring in little elements of culture, and a lot of people aren't really aware that they are being fed this culture, and that opens the door for other things for the fans. So this is one thing forever that I will forever be crediting professional wrestling with. It actually opens up a lot more education to people than what it's given credit for. Like, for instance, I wonder how many people were inspired to look into classical music after hearing the opening of not Jake the Snake Roberts, Macho Man Randy Savage, when they were using the song Pomp and Circumstances as his opening. The next time they came out with classical music was with Damian Sandow, when they were playing the chorus from Alexander. I didn't like it because I thought it was rather sacrilegious when they were using the Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah. But still, it is an opening to culture. Right. Also, the cultural references made with in concerning people like shamans and witch doctors and things like that from the Louisiana area, when they were introducing. Oh gosh, help me out here. Who am I thinking of?
Papa Shango?
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, Bray Wyatt.
But Papa Shango was another one.
Yeah.
Also,
like the witch doctor
Boogeyman also had certain elements of that. So, I mean, this is all part of the American culture, and they all bring it out rather well. They just do it in a disguised form. So
are we going to talk about the pay-per-view?
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, might as well.
Let's hit the high notes, really, because there's not a lot.
Okay, where do you want to start?
Roman Reigns Big Show.
Roman Reigns Big Show. I did like that match.
That was the one that I was really surprised about. I am not that much over on Big Show. I've expressed on the show before. I think he works more as a side attraction or special feature. Seeing him all the time it doesn't do anything for him or his size unless he dominates everyone. If he pretends he can dominate, then loses, it steals the dynamic of who he is as a person in his size, really. So I thought this match did a really great job of seeing Roman Reigns capitalize on Big Show's size.
Mm-hmm. You have to admit, Big Show's probably the best jobber they have.
And that's what you don't want.
I know. And that.
Yes, he is.
That's a misuse of talent, I will agree. But he certainly makes somebody look really, really good.
He does. And I think he made Roman Reigns look really good, which I think what leads up to the fact that we're seeing breaking news for anyone who has not watched Raw, the triple threat pay-per-view for Payback.
Triple threat pay-per-view featuring Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and
Randy Orton.
Too much wine for me tonight.
You cut off.
Yeah, I should. I should.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad I'm not driving after this show.
Yeah.
But no, I think that match, the Reigns Big Show match, was the highlight of the evening. I really do. From there, it just kind of went downhill. My big disappointment was Randy Orton and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I really don't think they delivered that well.
Well, there were two big disappointments for me. For one, and I know I'm kind of working into the storyline here, but still I think it was a glaring hole in the plot twist. When Seth Rollins said the RKO is banned, Seth Rollins won this match because of his use of a banned move. They should not have allowed that. They should have set this up a little better with Seth Rollins saying it's banned for Randy Orton to use. That's all they would have had to have done. And if that's the case, then Seth Rollins indeed could have used the RKO and done so justifiably. Right. But even the announcers pointed that out, which I thought was kind of strange. But then again, the announcers do quite often point out things that go against what makes WWE look good. Right. The other big disappointment that I had was Kane. I thought this was a wonderful way to get him out of the Authority. Instead, he goes right back to him again. And just like Big Show, I think Kane is being nothing more than a big jobber who makes other people look good. And he does a good job at that, but I think it's an insult to his talent and ability. Those are my two big disappointments of that match.
No, I mean, I think you're right on. I think abolishing the ROK, which is stupid from the get-go, especially when everyone in the WWE universe, or at least most of them know, the curb stop was abolished.
Yes.
You can't do it.
But that was abolished, too, for insurance reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was truly, truly dangerous and stupid
very dangerous
to do.
Move. How they're really slow burning this whole Kane turn, which I don't like.
Yeah,
I really think they need to speed that one up.
Let's do it and get it over with.
Yeah, just do it.
You know, the good news that came to me on Raw was when Cena got up and announced, yes, we're going to be doing, we're going to be fighting again between him and Rusev once more.
Yeah, I think it's stupid.
But it's going to be the last time.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's the best thing I saw on Monday Night Raw.
I can't believe the show's over. We didn't even talk about King of the Ring.
Oh, yeah. They've got it set up. They've already got matches.
We already have a winner.
Pardon me?
It happened tonight or last night.
That's right. It happened on WWE.
Yeah.
Who won?
Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett won.
So we know we have King Barrett.
Wayne Barrett is the king of the ring?
Yes.
Holy.
It's not so much bad news anymore.
They need to go back to that. Well, if they want
King Barrett, that's a new angle.
Okay, King Barrett. I bet you, I wonder if the announcer is going to take issue with that.
Oh, Booker?
No.
Oh, Jerry?
Jerry Lawler.
Oh, okay.
He might. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll find out by this time next week, where we do another edition of this lovely little program that we love to call SCI.